Putco employees have vowed to continue with their unprotected pickets. This is over wage increases and bonus concerns. The employees are demanding back pay and a 6% increase agreed to during the wage negotiations 2 years ago. Now, the protests continue despite the bus company warning its workers of dismissals. Yesterday, Putco spokesperson Lindokuhle Xulu saying the termination letters have been prepared for those who participated in the pickets. He's also explained that the matter is subject to the Labour Court. Let's quickly talk to the spokesperson of Putco, Lindokuhle Xulu, who joins us via the virtual platform. Lindo, good morning to you. Those dismissal letters, have they now been dispatched to the people who are involved in protests?
Not yet, I'm afraid, Paulie, because we are still consolidating all of the dismissal letters that will be issued as a finality to those that will be parting ways with Putco because of the embarking of the illegal strike. I mean, in terms of what happened yesterday, we gave them the entire day until end of business, which was at 5 p.m. to say that they can submit representations in terms of why the company should not, in fact, terminate the contract between themselves and Putco. But one of the things that we saw was that while we had given them this opportunity, there were still some protests, some people digging in their heels quite deep in saying that they are not going to write representations and that they are not going to stop what they are doing in terms of protesting until they get their monies. Of course, you've mentioned that this is a matter that is still subject to court proceedings, and that is where really the impasse is. But I can tell you that we have received a lot of virtual, written submissions, particularly from those employees who are saying that they don't necessarily need to part ways with Putco. They've stated a number of reasons, and the interim report is that some of them are citing that they might not have been counted to be working because they were on sick leave, or they were sick, or they were intimidated. So those are all of the things that are being considered. This is a work that we've started at around 5 p.m. We've been working throughout the night. And right now what we are going to do as well is to tally up those boxes that we put in different business units to actually consolidate all of that information. And then we will be able to say who will stay with the company and who will not stay with the company.
But Mr. Xulu, if you are a viewer who is sympathetic to the workers' demands here, you owe these workers massive amounts of money, back pay, including the 6%, which was agreed upon in negotiations 2 years ago. Instead of threatening them with dismissals, should you not be sitting them down and explaining that there is a process underway, therefore they should continue with work?
I must say that we couldn't have gotten to this point without actually doing what you say we must do. On Thursday, when they started protesting, we gave them notices, about 3 of them, that were spread out throughout the day to say that this is an illegal strike and you must go back to work. On Friday, we went to the Labour Court to get an interdict to say that the strike must be interdicted because of the unlawful nature that it's under. And what had happened was that we gave them an ultimatum to say on Monday they must return to work. Unfortunately, they did not return to work. So we did something unprecedented and unprocedural. We called them to the table. We called management to the table, as well as the unions that represent them, that they've shunned upon at this stage, because this is an unled strike as far as unions are concerned as well. We sat down with them, and in fact, I must say that it's not monies that are owed to them. It's monies that we were granted exemption for because of COVID-19. But we are saying they are not owed to them yet because of the fact that this is still a subject that is within the court. So until a court takes a decision, we will then know whether to pay or not to pay. But up to this point, we cannot do anything because there's nothing that's been pronounced there. But there has been several attempts, including yesterday when we had a visit from a senior member of a certain union who came. But unfortunately, that did not yield anything in terms of, a fruitful improvement of the situation. But I can tell you that we couldn't have gotten to this point, particularly because Putco follows, the law to the T. So we couldn't have gotten to a point where we are issuing these notices of an intention to dismiss, as well as finalizing some of the dismissal letters that will be given to workers who are still, are protesting, who have been found to have, broken the law, not just of the company, but of the country, because this particular strike has been interdicted. So all of the things you are mentioning have been covered. They have been done extensively. And at the same time, we are still continuing to engage with unions. But at this stage, it is a process that we need to follow to cater to our commuters who have been left stranded at this stage.
Very, very briefly, Mr. Xulu, is it fair to say there are no Putco buses moving right now?
It is fair to say that, because we've been seeing a mushrooming of these protests here and there. But we're hoping that in conclusion to this particular process, including at around 12 p.m., I'll be going to court to get an interdict in terms of those that are blocking some of our business units. So we're hoping that with the help of the police as well as our private security, we will be able to return services soon. But yes, I can confirm that many of our bus operations have largely been affected by this.
Lindokuhle Xulu is a spokesperson for the bus company Putco. Let's